Greetings and salutations, my fellow plunderers and privateers. It is I, Eric J. Chucci, joined, as always, by the boy.
Hey!
And this is Wrestlemania!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Peacock Network means we can watch WWE programming without directly giving money to Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Which means we're watching WWE again.
Now, I don't know if we're going to end up podcasting on every pay-per-view. Notably, we watched Fastlane, and y'all didn't hear about it.
I feel like it's going to be... That's a more healthy way of going about things. You'll hear from us if we feel like we have enough to say.
Yeah.
Because part of the thing that burned us out, aside from Vince McMahon being a tool bag, is that it felt like an obligation. Whereas now, if we're bored and don't want to watch wrestling that month, we watch other stuff on Peacock. It's fine.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Oh, and Murder, She Wrote?
Yep.
I've been catching occasional episodes of Murder, She Wrote.
Very true.
You?
I think I watched something on there. I don't know. There's so many streaming services, and they all kind of blend together.
My mom has been watching enough of it that she quoted an ad for WrestleMania at me in the run-up to it, and I just thought she was being extra. Like, in a good way, but...
Yeah. Nope. Just... There must have been 1,000 ads for WrestleMania.
Sure. Well, and she binge watches TV more than you, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to beat around the bush for too long. We have got so much wrestling to talk about, and I know even when we think we're not going to be long-winded, we end up being long-winded.
We have 14 fucking matches to cover. We had entertained the idea of declaring the podcast too big to be contained in one night and recording separate episodes on night 1 and night 2 and uploading them today and one day and then the next day. But that joke's only so funny, so we'll see how it goes.
I think if it had been the first year it happened,
yeah,
that would have been good. But well, okay, we used to do this, and for a reason. Spoiler-free review, very briefly, and this is your warning as well. So if you don't want spoilers, get the fuck out. What did you think of WrestleMania?
I liked it. I think it was overall a good show. I think the first episode of the 2-part miniseries was better than the second episode. But the second episode had enough highlights that it's still worth watching.
Yes.
What about yourself, sir?
It felt really good to return to watching wrestling. And like I said, we watched Fastlane, and Fastlane was, I felt it was kind of meh. I think you were a little more enthusiastic about it than I was.
And we've caught the occasional AEW thing in our big break, but it's just...
It's so hard to watch weekly wrestling.
Yeah, it's just, there's too much wrestling to watch. When you watch wrestling.
Man, if you just tune in for the pay-per-views and follow the news like I do, because I'm interested in the industry, if nothing else, they catch you up on the best parts of all of the segments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't keep up with the news, but the video packages pretty much caught me up to all the matches. I felt like I understood what was going on.
Mm-hmm. So, this is just, unless you're that invested, this is a superior way to watch a product. At least for our time concerns.
Yeah.
Wrestling is far from the only thing we do. We dropped it from our podcast regimen for, a year? And y'all didn't notice.
No.
So, but yeah, we're back here again. And we're talking about WrestleMania. Starting with night 1 of WrestleMania. I like the promos they did during the rain delay. It got pushed back by about half an hour. And basically that meant wrestlers had to go in front of the camera and cut their own promos that weren't pre-written.
Yeah, basically because they were vamping. Like someone was fucking playing an old school stand-up piano in the background going, vamp, vamp! And by God, did they fucking deliver. Pretty much all the promos that happened in that little section were better than the promos they usually deliver. Which, again, just let your wrestlers do their job, man. This is what they do.
We might be okay with watching the WWE now that we're not paying Vincent Kennedy and McMahon 1 red cent. But, God, if some of their decisions don't still rub the wrong way. And that's one of them. I hope this encourages them to at least let some of their higher-up talents or lower-risk talents do their own thing. We'll see. And we started off with a title match. Drew McIntyre against Bobby Lashley with his big boss following him around, MVP, for the WWE Championship.
First off, this was a good wrestling match.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I like Bobby Lashley and MVP's new gimmick.
Yeah, the Hurtins business.
Her business was a stable that Bobby Lashley just broke away from, but he has carried over like the energy of it. Yeah.
He has, and there's MVP Montel Vontavious Porter, because I'm gonna give him his full name because he is dressed like a fucking king. Like that was such a fly outfit with that fucking cane.
Mm-hmm. He's a good manager.
Yeah, that was big classic manager vibes. Notably, I've never been a humongous fan of Bobby Lashley. I just have never gotten it. But this match was good. Regardless of my personal fondness for the wrestler, the match was good.
I feel like Bobby Lashley usually puts on a good athletic display, but he doesn't have the personality to carry you into really giving a shit about him within the ring. And what is there is usually overly simple or silly in a bad way. I don't mean fucking clown shoes wrestling as they call it, but just, I don't know. He's not a great talker. I mean, that's
no, giving him a mouthpiece was an absolutely fucking, that was a pimp decision.
So there was a little bit of going into this, and I feel like I'm going to mention this purely because I think you want to talk about it.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre won the WWE Championship last year?
Last WrestleMania.
I believe so, yeah. And couldn't do it in front of a live audience, and he basically had his entire reign away from a live audience. The Miz won it via a sneaky cash-in, and then Bobby Lashley beat The Miz. This was maybe a month or two ago to get the championship. And this was Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre's big, you didn't beat me for the title match. Here we are a year on. A lot of bets were saying Drew McIntyre's going to take it. This is going to be his victory in front of a live crowd that he deserves.
Being the workhorse that carried them through the pandemic.
Yeah, I can't necessarily disagree with that. At the same time, Bobby Lashley's an older man for wrestlers, and this gimmick has given him more life than he's ever had.
I don't disagree with that. Ultimately, though, I still think this was the wrong call. Bobby Lashley won. He retained his championship against Drew McIntyre by TKO. He got him in his submission finisher, and Drew McIntyre passed out rather than tap out. And I think that was the wrong call. I understand why you'd want to keep Bobby on top with his momentum and this new gimmick working really well, and MVP being a great manager. I understand all the upsides, but this was a one-time thing that you traded in for something you could easily give him the title next month. You could easily have him take it on Raw or SmackDown this week by heel chicanery. This was a one-time opportunity that you kind of disregarded, and I don't think it was the right call. I'm not mad about it. I just disagree with it.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that it's not. It devalues your title to do that. Have Drew get his big win and then lose it, whether that's a day after or a month after or whatever.
Well, I mean, he does have to lose it eventually.
Sure, but for the Bobby Lashley momentum that you're talking about here, to retain that energy. Oftentimes when I'm presented with a hard call in wrestling, I will say I would not have booked this match. But here, actually, I would. This makes perfect sense. Yeah. I think either choice is fine. I think you are gaining and losing something no matter who wins the match. But that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately that's the same thing. I agree. You're gaining and losing something by picking whoever you pick. This was a fine match. This was well wrestled. I just think what you traded wasn't worth what you got.
That's a valid opinion to have. And that's why you guys come to us, are really good wrestling opinions. Moving on to what was the worst match of night one, I think pretty indisputably.
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely undisputedly, yes.
The tag team turmoil match, the winners receiving a women's tag team championship shot on night two. I I feel like this match had a couple of good moments.
I feel like this match, even though it wasn't the shortest match on the card by a long stretch, there were like 3 matches that were shorter. I feel like this match must have had some part of it cut because of the rain delay, because this match did not feel like their rhythm was right. Like, from bell to bell, everything seemed off. All the wrestlers involved just seemed to be sort of a step off their game.
Yeah, until the end. I feel like the end was fine.
Oh yeah, they did the finish just fine, but like...
And even like the last leg of the match. Like the last 2 competitors.
By then I was sort of checked out, that's fair.
But I didn't put you and I off on a great foot because... my brain. Hold on, there's actually a list. Lana and Naomi got eliminated immediately, basically.
And if you're a long-time listener of the Two Nerds podcast, back from the olden days of the wrestling podcast, I'm a huge fucking Naomi mark, so I was upset.
I was a little less upset, but like I'm also like in a very zen state, and I was really happy with the finish. I've been wanting Tamina to get something good for a while now.
Essentially, yeah, same. Yeah. At the end of the day, Tamina winning was about that's a fair trade. Naomi lost, Tamina won, fair trade.
Especially the way they did it, where Natalya had every chance to lock in the sharpshooter. Instead, she goes, no. You have your WrestleMania moment.
Yeah,
that was good.
Did.
Good face work, just really classic style. And I have to say this, honestly, for both nights of the show, even the weird shit felt very classic wrestling. The booking was really stripped down and simple in most cases.
In most cases.
Most. We'll get to it. We always get to it. Other than that, like when Mandy Rose tripped on the entrance ramp before they put down the carpet, I think that set them off on a bad physical start, and it just became unglued even more as time went on until it was between the Riot Squad and Natalya and
Tamina. Overall, though, right team won. Well, second right team, but Naomi's team was in first. They weren't going to win.
You know, I don't even care that much about Lana. So
no, I mean, to be fair, yeah, I do like I do like Natalya and Tamina. So that's like a 2.
Yeah. So our next contest, which surprised the hell out of me as well, Seth Rollins and Cesaro. Seth Rollins in general, since coming back from birthing a child through his penis tip, has been much more positive and enjoyable as both a character and a person being interviewed.
Like, I mean, that's a transformative experience. It'll change it.
Yeah. Some things get bigger.
Notably, his heart grew 3 sizes. But, like, he seems happier. He seems happier not being the guy.
Yeah.
And as for the match itself, ain't nobody asked these boys to go this hard.
No.
This was a fucking phenomenal match.
I mean, Cesaro does this every time he's in the ring. He will deliver 110%.
That is true. There is no match fucking Claudio Castagnoli does not blow the fucking hinges off if he's given the chance.
This is for the 24/7 championship, and I am fighting a man in a duck suit. I'll do my best.
But, like, it was such a good match. In terms of match of the night, I think that's a real strong contender.
It's a strong contender. There's another real strong contender.
There is.
But, yeah, that's definitely up there. And Seth Rollins did the job. Coming back with that much momentum
with a fun new gimmick.
Yeah, to hand that to Cesaro, I think was the right call on 2 levels. One, absolutely the fun new gimmick. Seth Rollins doesn't need this win to be in the eyes of the fans. He loses nothing by losing this match. Cesaro has so much more to gain. And Cesaro's a guy who deserves championship gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's an exceptional wrestler and a good guy all around.
Yep.
We move into a tag team championship match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Yeah, you announce it, my friend.
I'm not gonna do the. I'm not gonna do the voice. I want to do the voice. I want to make it clear that I do want to do the voice, but I'm not going to do the voice. The New Day, consisting of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, fought AJ Styles and Amos. I don't know how to say his name.
No one else does. I have heard everything on the show from Amos to Omos to almost.
Edward James almost. And it was not a long match, shortest match on the card, but it was real fun. They did basically 2 stages of a match. They did the match that was happening before Edward James almost got in the ring, and then the match that happened after. And that was a different wrestling match. And both were really, really fun and good in different ways. The New Day sadly did not come home champions. AJ Styles and Omos did, but I'm not mad about it. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. He does a big boot, and he's having a great time. It's been a while since we've had like a genuine giant, and they've found a couple since I've been gone, and that's nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Xavier Woods doing his own commentary, or excuse me, yeah, Xavier Woods.
I just was fucking mad happy to see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston wrestle again. I love both those guys so much.
And Woods has gotten so much. He's gained.
He's gained both in mass and in fucking mental mass. He is good. He is at the tip top of his game.
We're big New Day marks since way back, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, New Day is literally one of the only modern wrestling teams or institutions I have merch for. I fucking love the New Day, and they lost, and I'm still not mad because it was such a good match.
And the New Day is one of those things, too. They could lose every match they have, and they'd still be the New Day. So, decent contest. We go now to what was a mediocre feud.
Yeah, that's fair.
But building up to a good match that I think people wanted to see, and that is Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage. Braun Strowman took umbrage with the fact that Shane McMahon was alluding to the idea he may be stupid. And Shane McMahon is a meanie head.
Shane McMahon is that kid who bullies people way bigger than him and then is like shocked Pikachu face when they do something about it.
I don't know that he was shocked Pikachu face so much as like, no, I can get this to come up, Shane.
And he could not.
He did his level best, but in the end, hubris and a very strong man were his downfall.
He got those hands.
This had some really cool spots in it. Really great psychology, honestly.
It was really fun. I'm never gonna like Shane McMahon's working punch. It's bad.
That's true.
It's bad. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look like he's hitting people. And from what I understand, in the back in the day, he just didn't do a working punch. He just fucking punched you. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's still what he's doing, because they look the same.
Maybe. It doesn't look that impactful. There's not a lot of spark behind it.
It looks like he's petting you.
Yeah. But, I guess the idea behind it is when Shane McMahon's punching someone, your eyes are mostly on his footwork, on his shoulder work. You're not, looking at the impact zone.
But no, I am. And I'm upset.
Well, sure. No, that's
But,
fair.
the match itself was fine. Fun. Good times.
Yeah.
As you said, a couple really good spots. We twigged pretty early to one of the cage walls being gimmicked.
But it wasn't the wall that they did.
No. But when Braun Strowman ripped a whole damn cage wall off, I'd like to hope that was the gimmicked wall. I'd like to hope that. But big strong man is a big strong man, and that doesn't necessarily have to be true.
I appreciate them doing something different with this. I mean, this is obviously not, smarmy small man calls big man stupid, gets pounded for it. But I kind of appreciate it. It had a very Hacksaw Jim Duggan 1980s flair of, hey, be nice to people.
Yes, there's a couple problems with that. I don't feel like the bullying aspect flew. I get what they were going for. They were going for smart mouth rich kid bullies bigger kid who he believes he is untouchable against. He believes he is smarter and cleverer than, and therefore he will be able to defeat this large idiot. But then is not, because large man is not idiot and also is large. And pointing.
He did do some pointing.
He did, but it doesn't fly.
I don't buy
Braun Strowman as a bullying victim. I'm sorry, I don't.
He exactly seems like the kind of guy who wouldn't be bothered by it. So when he gets upset by the bullying, it does come across more as, I'm very insecure, and not, you have said hurtful things to me.
Like, I buy Shane McMahon doing it.
Yes.
I don't buy Braun Strowman giving a shit.
The better reaction from Braun Strowman would be, okay, I will smush you.
I understand that is your opinion. Given that it's a stupid-ass opinion, I have elected to give you these hands. With Hacksaw, it played. With Hacksaw, it played because Hacksaw's a very sweet man.
No, he's not. I'm pretty sure he's QAnon.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. He's always come across. He's always been very nice to me. But he is a little fucking dim. So it plays better because he is genuinely a little dim.
I didn't mean to set you up for that. I'm so proud of you. Anyway. Braun Strowman threw Shane McMahon bodily from the top of the cage into the ring, onto nothing. Kudos to Joe Rogan. Better Joe Rogan for taking the bump.
I mean, it's what he does.
Yeah.
He takes bumps. He takes insane bumps. The guy went over a helicopter.
Speaking of surprises, that was the worst segue I've ever...
Yeah, that was bad. No, you're not cutting up.
I'm not editing it.
Anyway.
Speaking of bad transitions, the bunnies.
Yeah, after this match, you need to understand, I haven't been keeping up with wrestling news. I don't know anything about what's been going on. I am relying on the video packages to catch me up on what's been going on in wrestling for like the last year. Having said that, when after the Braun Strowman AJ Styles, but after the Braun Strowman Shane McMahon match happened, a horde of Easter bunnies came bouncing out to the ring, desperately holding onto their Easter bunny heads so they didn't go flying off. I did not know what the fuck was going on.
I do keep up with wrestling news. I knew what was going on, and in the moment I went, what the fuck?
Is Adam Rose back? Yeah, I believe is what you said.
No, of course. The Miz and John Morrison had to do their...
intentionally terrible rap song, which is a diss track to Bad Bunny. Intentionally terrible. Which I love, because they came out, and instead of doing their normal entrance, they came out and did the rap song, old school John Cena style, on the way down to the ring, with the song playing, with lyrics, and then they were also singing it. They weren't mic'd, but they were they were talking. They were talking. They weren't lip singing. They did not have to do that.
Yeah, they were mic'd.
They must have been.
They had handled mic.
Yeah, that's right. Because I remember hearing them.
You could sometimes hear them not layering properly over the track.
Yeah. Which you didn't have to do that.
No.
That's that extra layer of professionalism to being an absolute fucking detestable shitheel.
Before we get too far into this, shout out to John Morrison's hair decisions. A single dreadlock mullet is perhaps the most powerful statement toward douchebaggery I have ever conceived of.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's better than Johnny Drip Drip with his sunglasses that said Drip Drip on them?
Yes.
God, he's perfect. He is a perfect golem of douchery. I love it. But I want to talk about this match in detail because it deserves it, which is strange. But I want to begin by stating that I, previous to this, had no fucking clue who Bad Bunny was. He's some music man. He does a music. I gathered that from the video packages. I was not, shall we say, excited for this match. Most of your standard Wrestlemania, they brought a celebrity in to do a match, most of them are mediocre at best. Occasionally you get a high-shining, good couple moves out of someone like Snooki. That is not what fucking happened here. Bad Bunny gave what I think must be hands down the best celebrity wrestling performance I have seen.
There was some radio host who was on an NXT takeover that also did well, but like the difference between an NXT takeover and Wrestle fucking Mania is everybody's going to be talking about Bad Bunny, and I can't remember the man's name.
He did so well. He walked in there with the level of dedication and commitment, and you could tell he'd put in months of training, and respect, because he apparently is a huge wrestling fan.
Here's something you might not know as well. Damian Priest almost didn't make this match because he was working injured. There is a reason Bad Bunny carried most of that match in terms of offense. Now, if we're being real, The Miz and John Morrison carried that match.
Yeah, I mean, look, a big shout out to the professionalism and fucking work ethic of The Miz and John Morrison. They made Bad Bunny look like $1 billion. And, like, but he put in, there's 2 people involved in that dance, and he put in his end to that 2-step. And whereas The Miz and John Morrison are multi-decade fucking veterans with years of experience and world titles of various sorts behind their histories, Bad Bunny's a fucking musician.
And a skinny little one at that.
And he it's little things. He did a couple really really impressive moves. He, did some good basic wrestling psychology, which was really impressive. Notably, he managed to not kill John Morrison while John Morrison did a Canadian Destroyer to himself, which is always nice. Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, I say that's really hard to do.
2 people are involved in that move.
But it's the little things, the little respect shit that you don't see celebrities do. He grabbed the tag rope when he was getting ready to be tagged in. He wiped his feet before he entered the ring. It's just little tiny things that celebrity guests don't fucking do.
Yeah, it was good. I like this man's one song that I've heard because we own Fuser. And I liked his performance in the ring. I like that his name is Bad Bunny and he takes himself completely seriously and not in like a weird way, but just like, yep, I'm Bad Bunny.
That's my name. That's my name.
I got bunny ears.
The match itself was fun and good. Just good.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Bad Bunny, of course, won.
Yeah. And Damian Priest, I like Damian Priest too. The weird 2000s creator wrestler, though he may be. I dig him a lot. And I'm glad he's...
You gotta have weird 2000s creator wrestlers, man. They're never gonna go away.
No.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to him for working injured. And again, shout out to the Miz and Morrison because, I mean, it's a surprising lack of ego to go out there and basically get your shit pushed in by a dude who's never been in a ring before at WrestleMania.
I don't care for the Miz as a person. I don't care for the Miz's character as an entertainer. But I have nothing but respect for him as part of wrestling. So, yeah, good match. And John Morrison, I like anyway. He dreadlock mullet. It's powerful.
Johnny Mundo. Woo!
Final match of night 1. The other contender for match of the night. Sasha Banks put up her SmackDown Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. This is a match I have been waiting on for like a year plus.
Bianca Belair rules. Sasha Banks is... I mean, she's good. She's a fixture at this point.
Yeah. She's
the one who does all the firsts.
Except winning at WrestleMania.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. She's not quite the Fiend, but she doesn't have a good winning at WrestleMania record. Spoilers.
This was a really hot match. Big action, big moves. I mean, Bianca Belair, as small as Sasha Banks is, that's still impressive. To pick a woman up above her head and carry her from the ground up the stairs and toss her ass into the ring.
I mean, that's basically, you just got to be strong enough to lift that much person. Full
For
stop.
that long. Yep.
Full stop. That's got to be strong enough that you can go upstairs with it.
And not even like, a good lift, like a sack of potatoes. No. The gorilla press.
The gorilla press, where it is just that's all on you. There's not much they can do to help.
Man, just the athleticism in this match.
It absolutely really solid match, really good work, good ring psychology. I understood the story of the match they were trying to tell the entire time.
I loved that Bianca's emotions were so naked in the opening. She's crying literally because this is her moment. This is WrestleMania. And
I loved that I loved 2 things about that. I loved, 1, that it happened, and 2, this is a combo. I loved that all of the announcers said it was, that's bad. You got to keep control of your emotions. And they were just wrong.
Yeah, it was great. And the fact that when it finally came time to throw down, she just kind of rolled it out of her was just such a powerful statement, an amazing visual.
Strength.
I was not sure how the next night's main event was going to compete because this match was really excellent.
Like, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins was probably a technically better wrestling match. The story around Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks was better enough that I think it has to take match of the night. Just because wrestling isn't just about technicality. It is also about the story, about the emotions. I think Bianca Belair is a good wrestler, but ultimately, as White is more than aware of, I have kind of mocked her. A good wrestler, I do not like that gimmick. The EST of NXT or whatever is dumb. It's a dumb thing to say. That's a dumb thing to say. And by the end of it, I was on the edge of my seat just rooting for that girl.
She's been a favorite of mine since she debuted.
I mean, like, it was a really well-told story.
Yeah. So I was there for her. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about, holy shit, she cut Sasha Banks with her hair.
Like, did she wrap a fucking bullwhip into that thing? That's what?
It was amazing. And when the spot happens, I'm like, well, that was a little silly, but wrestling is wrestling. And then the next time we see Sasha, she's got like a
welt.
Yeah, nasty.
Like, no. That wasn't like no one slapped their leg. That was just the noise that made when she whipped Sasha Banks with her own hairdo.
You're not opposed to slap your leg anymore.
Oh, fuck you.
There's signs in the back, brother.
Go fuck those signs. It's a cool thing to do. Makes a cool noise. Fuck you. Fuck you, sign.
Fuck you, Vince McMahon. Yeah, this is a great event. We kind of watched it over 2 days. We stopped after the tag match, and I'm glad we came back in when we did because that Cesaro-Seth Rollins match was enough to roll us right back into the action.
Yeah, much better start. Really, really lifted the energy of the rest of the show. And then on to night 2, I believe.
Into night 2. Roughly half an hour for night 1. I don't think night 2 is going to take quite as long. But
unless I take a long time bitching, I don't think it will.
I'm gonna let you go off here, champ, and I'll come in with anything else I feel I need to clean up afterward. I'm gonna take my medicine. You just go ahead and talk.
So, the first match of night 1 is Randy Orton versus The Fiend. The Fiend, who we watched Fastlane, which I'm really glad I watched because it gave me enough time and context that I saw The Fiend coming back, and I saw that hilarious Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton match. Really got me invested. And The Fiend's entrance was fucking dope. It was cool as shit. I love Alexa's new character and new gimmick. I love The Fiend. I'm really glad they had him do a Doctor Who regeneration instead of wrestling in that weird burn suit because that would have been very awkward. The Fiend's already in like 9 layers. Fucking poor Wyndham Rotunda, man.
I think my favorite part of the entire build was Randy Orton cutting a promo on himself as The Fiend.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's just really fucking cool.
That's the kind of shit that you can get away with when you go, fuck it, it's a fiction show. Fuck off. And then it was just your standard Fiend match when he's just come back from being killed again and his powers are at their maximum. Randy Orton would do a move, the Fiend would stand up, attack him. Randy Orton would do a move, the Fiend would stand up and attack him, so on and so forth until the Fiend wins. Except that's not what fucking happened. The Fiend lost this match. Right at the very end, as he's about to hit Randy with Sister Abigail, Alexa Bliss comes back. She has stolen one of Rhea Ripley's jackets, and now black ooze is coming out of her head. It looks really fucking cool. I need to make that clear. She's got like glowing red eyes because they like computer graphics it. I know that because those changed later to blue, and she did not go in and change her contacts while she was...
Unless they were like light reactive.
Unless they were light reactive, which would also be a fucking killer idea. She looked really cool. It was a really cool image. I thought they were like, sacrificing Randy to the spirit of Sister Abigail. Cool shit. Except for how instead of reacting normally to this wacky bullshit, as the Fiend probably should, the Fiend was really distracted by it. And then Randy Orton just hit him with one fucking RKO. This is the Fiend, remember, who took approximately 9,000 curb stomps to put down. One RKO, and he just wins. Just 3 count wins. And then leaves. And then there's a bit of a stare down between The Fiend and black goo covered Alexa Bliss. And then they disappear. The lights go out, the lights come back on, they're gone. The box is still there. The Fiend came out of a giant jack in the box.
Box-like object.
Structure.
I'm sorry. The box-like structure.
What the fuck?
Michael Cole was on crack. The pound and ground, the what was he calling the sly dogs, the old dogs, something?
Blue Thunderbomb. That's a Michinoku driver. I'm going to save you from the internet. Thank you.
Michael Cole was not, he was too excited for WrestleMania.
But and White, I was upset. I was upset about this. I'm not going to lie to you. White, you pointed something out that is just, at this point, has to be true. And I'd like for you to tell the audience what you told me.
Well, first, let me come at it from the position of a booker, okay? Because I feel like the other thing's a better thing to end and then second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say you've got yourself a Randy Orton, who I would put money down on has creative control to a certain degree. If not specifically stated in his contract, then he can walk up to Vince.
He's got stroke.
With his pee-pee hands and go, "Hey, Vince, make this happen." And Vince goes, "Yeah, let me touch your pee-pee hands." And then it happens. So, Randy Orton wants to go over. Damn it, we built this whole big Fiend thing up. One RKO, a pretty quick roll-up, and Randy immediately exiting the ring is the best case scenario for I have to have a Randy win. I don't know that that's what happened, but as a booker, I feel like if you're going to have the Fiend eat a loss at this stage in the game, having it happen quick, and then a predator like Randy Orton immediately leaving does say something.
Okay.
However, honestly, at this point, I feel like we're missing a lot of lore. I think maybe there should be an attachment novel I need to read here, because this reads like Bray Wyatt's incredibly complicated, Wyndham Rotunda's incredibly complicated, teenage fan fiction, original fiction about his OC that I don't have all the information on to understand what the fuck is happening. Why are you distracted by Alexa Bliss? And it's not like you can just interview The Fiend and he's going to be like, "I thought she was pretty. She looked like my mom." I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's going to say. "Reminded me it's tax time."
They're fucking not going to say anything.
No, they're not. There's zero context for what's going on. At one point, I misheard someone screaming, "Summon the moon," and that felt like more context for what was going on in this match than what we actually received.
And you're right. At this point, because as you put very clearly, The Fiend has been this gimmick has been really mistreated. It has been fucked around with and dealt losses and just all the shit you don't want to do if you intend for this to be a long-term gimmick like The Undertaker, which all of the sources say is the idea. But Wyndham re-signed.
Yeah.
AEW exists. He didn't have to, but he did.
He could have been the friend.
But, he re-signed. So clearly he's not that mad. And if he's not that mad, I'm not going to be. This is, whatever your weird fan fiction is, not good wrestling booking, Wyndham, but okay.
Yeah, all right. Whatever's going on here.
And it might just be so as simple as, that's what the bosses say to do, and I'm getting paid a lot of money. And
sure.
If so, more power to you. Get your paper.
Yeah, you know what? If someone gave me tens of thousands of dollars to put on a silly outfit and be spooky and
then lose, I'd do it.
I'm
not better than that.
Yeah, well, who fucking cares? Anyway, speaking of getting paid a bunch of money to put on a silly outfit and lose, Natalya and Tamina did not win their match against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Natalya and Tamina, the only team that pulled double duty on this two-night WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They lost, which is... I'm not mad at this. It would have been a better WrestleMania moment, I suppose, if they had won. And also Nia Jax wouldn't have won, which would have been a plus. But Shayna Baszler's humongous upside and great, and she gets to be champion more. Good.
Yeah, that's basically how I feel about it. Natalya doesn't need anything else. She's the...
I would have liked for Tamina to have that.
Yes, I would have as well. She's got one 24/7 title victory under her belt for all the years of service she's put in. But the fans were behind her, and she did have her WrestleMania moment the night before.
I don't feel like this is over. I feel like this feud doesn't end here.
I hope not, because I just don't... I'd like to see Shayna in the singles division. or with some other women.
I would like to
style.
see Shayna Baszler as a singles championship contender, away from Nia Jax, and I'd like to see Tamina with some gold. And there's an easy way you can accomplish both those things, but they didn't do it tonight. And the match itself was, insofar as Nia Jax was in it, good.
I would like a world where I was excited for Nia Jax to be one half of the tag team champions, because I was really pulling for her for a while. But everything I have seen about her attitude, not to mention the startling number of accidents she's been involved in that have left superstars injured, really makes me not want to root for her.
Basically the same thing. She's not like a terrible wrestler, but
No.
she's not a safe wrestler, and she's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for me to want you to win. And yet you do. So, I mean, fuck me, I guess.
Next up, we have your piss break match.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is a shame because it was a really tight contest.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
I would say only slightly worse than Cesaro Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah, I would say that's absolutely probably true. This was probably a technical mastermind, two dudes who are absolutely really good wrestling together, have amazing chemistry, and both incredible wrestlers, putting forth an amazing show, and I don't give a single fuck because I've seen it 1,000 times. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, chapter 465. We're in Naruto now. It will go on forever. Eventually, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's children will be fighting. I am so fucking tired of this match.
Really excited for Blevin Owens.
Blevin Owens and Boruto Zayn.
I like Sammy's current gimmick. I like his conspiracy theorist thing.
It's weird that he's the heel. Personally.
I feel like, and I said this at the time, I feel like this is Kevin Owens picking his friend up.
Yeah,
Because he's been doing this all throughout his career, is going, hey, Sami Zayn's a really good wrestler and no one ever gives him a chance. And they go, well, you're a known draw and everybody loves you versus Sami, so sure, he can get a WrestleMania payday. What the fuck do I care?
And we got a match to fill. You know what? Logan Paul wants to get involved in WWE. Let's do that. And then Kevin Owens sighs and Sami Zayn sighs, and then they fucking go get Low Gang t-shirts.
I mean, he hit Logan Paul with a stunner after it was all said and done. So.
Which I'm sure Logan Paul fucking loved.
Yeah, and you know what?
Jokes aside, I don't give a shit. I don't dislike Logan Paul. I don't like Logan Paul. I nothing him.
I mean, I'm at that point myself. Look, dumber people have made worse mistakes in their youth. I think he's done some really fucking stupid scumbaggy things, but we are all allowed
if
forgiveness.
I had been a multi-millionaire with millions of followers when I was 19, I'd have done some dumb shit too, and it would have gotten really publicized.
Yeah. He was really good at mugging in this, and he took a stunner well.
Yeah, he shemped amazingly, and he knows how to take a stunner. That's all you need from your celebrity guest.
I'm sad this storyline is probably over. I kind of liked, the whole vibe Sammy was going with.
You know what? Honestly, it doesn't make sense for Sammy to be the heel here, but it's only because one, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn is the heel doesn't make sense, and two, he's not wrong. There is a conspiracy against Sami Zayn. He's right. He's correct.
I will say it again. Daniel Bryan comes down to the ring and says, people, we need to save the planet. We need to heal the trees. We need to recycle. And we need to care for this earth that we have to give to our children and our children's children. And the WWE Universe responds with, boo.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter how good your message is if you're kind of a dillweed about it, I guess.
Roughly. But I do appreciate Kevin Owens. Please don't. I'm worried for my friend.
He's not even mad at Sammy. He's just, dude, come on, be cool. Stop. This is not you, man. You seem stressed. Are you okay?
Like, Kevin Owens, in the era of the mics being turned up louder from the Thunderdome, this was the quietest Kevin Owens I've ever seen in the ring.
Which, I mean, yeah, and especially in this era, he could have made hay out of this whole match because Kevin Owens, no one, and this is, another thing that it makes sense he was the one who was given this move. No one has done in-ring trash talk as well as Kevin Owens since Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's incredibly good at it. But it was a good match. It wasn't like the most blow-up-my-skirt thing.
Me neither.
And I think you could probably say the same about the next one if it weren't for the several ridiculous spots that happened. That being Riddle versus Sheamus.
Yeah. Notably, I love Sheamus. I've been a longtime fan. I don't like Riddle. I don't like that he doesn't have a first name. I don't like that he's the Riddler now.
That's
I don't
not
like that he's
his
Edward Nigma.
fault. It's the WWE. I will point to you, Antonio Cesaro. I will point to you, fucking Tamina Snuka. You lose names when you're in the WWE.
Sheamus had a last name.
O'Shaughnessy.
Yes. I don't like Riddle as a name for a wrestler. I don't like it unless you add an R and he's wearing question marks. I don't like his look. I just don't. I find his gimmick grating. It is a bad version of RVD's gimmick, made worse by the fact that he was on the same screen as RVD, and I was forcibly reminded it's a bad version of RVD's gimmick. I do not like how he comes to the ring dressed. One incredibly replaceable set of trunks, and those are the only clothes he wears. Yeah, I will admit part of it is I don't like that he doesn't wear shoes. But a much, as equally as big a part of it is he fucking looks boring. And yet, this match was fun as shit.
This is why I like Matt Riddle. I don't give a shit about his bro stuff or his surfer dude gimmick or anything. I don't care.
You don't care that birds come out of his feet?
If any of you motherfuckers out there can explain to me why birds come out of this man's feet, I will somehow give you $5. If you can give me an actual fucking explanation, I will give you $5. Okay?
First come, first serve.
Yeah, first come, first serve. Obviously, copy, paste, comment, no. Fuck off. Anyway, I think Matt Riddle is one of the best wrestlers going today. He is great in the ring, willing to take risks, mean to Goldberg, which automatically gets you points in my book.
You know what? That's fair. He was mean to Goldberg.
And he did a jackhammer in this match. Got a 2 count on it. Guess it's not a very good move.
You know what? You get extra points for being mean to Goldberg.
But Jesus, the lengths they went to here. This is the only match that got color. Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Sheamus booted his fucking mouth off.
Yeah, and it was such, that's such a risky thing to do. The final spot was Matt Riddle doing, what was it, a moonsault?
He was upside down.
I think it was a moonsault or something. He was upside down with his face pointed towards Sheamus because he was flipping into the ring like a springboard maneuver of some type. I don't remember, because all I remember is Sheamus fucking bro-kicking him in the face and spinning him around like a cartoon. And it wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't gimmicked. He kicked him in the fucking face. His face exploded.
That was just the climax to this match. They tried
which had 1,000 other big, ridiculous spots in it and was well wrestled besides. Notably, I'm not a fan of one of the wrestlers in this ring, and I had a great time watching this match. I would put this match up there as possible match of the night contender just because it was fun as shit to watch.
Yeah, very strong match. Sheamus won, if that wasn't clear, which I was a little surprised about as well. But
yeah, on balance, most of the heels won this WrestleMania, which is very strange. Not all, but most.
Yeah, there are a couple big face wins.
Neutral, independent, not
Randy Orton. You can just say Randy Orton.
I was actually talking about Rhea Ripley.
Oh, okay.
She's not a face. She's not a heel. She's doing her own thing. Sure. There's an industry term for that. I just hate it.
An individual. Let's get to the Nigerian drum fight match, which I had a lot of fun in the build-up toward because several people asked me, "What's a Nigerian drum fight match?" And I got to use my favorite answer. What a good question.
Turns out it's a no DQ match where there are drums. Just there.
As an option, should you choose.
No one took that option, which is loser, big thumb down. Big E, you had 2 big men slapping meat, and you could have hit a man with a fucking drum, and you chose not to. That is a failure on your part.
He threw a man near a drum, and he bumped into it, but that's not what we wanted.
No.
He did hit a man with a gong.
He tried. The gong was kicked out of his hands.
That's true. The gong went off. That's all we wanted.
Yeah, that's true. I just wanted to.
I haven't seen 2 people use kendo sticks like this in a long time.
No, they Apollo Crews fucking disintegrated a kendo stick on Big E.
There is not a whole lot to say about this match. It was
a hardcore match. It was short as fuck. It was like
short
sub 7 minutes.
Maybe one of the worst Big E matches I've ever seen, but like that scale is already set so high. It was still better than a lot of matches.
Yeah, it was a Midland match from your largest possible E, but that means it was a really good wrestling match because he's a really good wrestler.
Yeah, and Apollo Crews is finally getting his due. Apollo Crews picked up the victory here because a guy who used to be on WWE Raw Underground and I think NXT, whose name escapes me, came in and interfered.
I literally went, "Whomst?" when he showed up. Like, who mega lol? Who the fuck is this?
But good heel victory. I like Apollo's new gimmick. I think it's finally working for him, and I think he's a really good competitor that I felt was not getting his due this whole time. So I'm glad he's at least going to get a good run with the U.S. Championship. Or the Intercontinental Championship, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not mad that Big E lost. All of the boys, all your good boys, they all lost at WrestleMania. But it's kind of what the New Day does.
I feel like they're gonna be elevating Big E soon. He lost on
I want
interference.
him to lose his way up to the main event. Yeah. Because give me my Big E world title run. Give.
I would devour that. I'll buy the T-shirt.
Give.
Smoothly, quickly going into the next match. Oh, I really liked this one. I really liked this one a lot. Still not my match of the night. Asuka defending her Raw Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. As we mentioned earlier, Rhea Ripley did walk away with the title. There's not a lot I can put into words about this match because it was just visually great.
Yeah, good story, solid, ring psychology, but ultimately just fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just I was so sucked into this match that I couldn't dissect it.
No, same.
I couldn't tell you, and then this happened, and there's this one spot where someone showed light. I don't have that information. I was just transported to being 12 years old again, and I was watching pro wrestling.
Asuka's one of my favorite wrestlers, full stop.
Yeah, same.
And
I think that's just top 5 at this point in my life.
She's had the title for the better part of the last year.
I missed all that, but I'm aware of it, so I'm okay.
Rhea Ripley is incredibly talented, and I'm glad to see her get a good come up, especially after the fumbling she had last year. This is overall a good thing. The performance Asuka gave, despite having her teeth knocked out not that long ago,
literally,
she is an incredible performer. The smallest things, with the little mocking sing along with the announcer thing that she did. Expert stuff. It's just great work all around. Fantastic match. Solid contest.
Yeah, absolutely agreed.
And that brings us to our main event of the second night. A triple threat match between Edge, Daniel Bryan, and the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. The man who made the Blueberry title matter.
He said it, and he's right.
Yep.
He's right, and he should say it. Oh, side note, if we didn't actually explicitly say it, Rhea Ripley won.
We did, 3 times.
Okay, good.
That's okay, though. Yeah, Rhea Ripley. Good.
But this match was... I was upset about this a little. Not like a huge amount. I was bemused more than angry. I didn't understand why you would put Daniel Bryan in this match. This match is such an obvious Rock versus Hogan dream match. Why would you insert an unnecessary complication and undercut your like big singles main event with a clear winner and a clear loser WrestleMania thing? Oh, because it's really fucking good.
I mean, my mind at the time, and I didn't want to just use that as like a bludgeon when you were asking me about it, because I don't think, first of all, that's a great way to have a conversation with somebody. Secondly, there is more nuance here to be detected than that. But if you have Rock versus Hogan, why would you want to insert Stone Cold Steve Austin into the thing? I don't know. Better just leave Stone Cold on the bench for this one.
I think, with hindsight, I was a little worried about this beforehand, and I believe this probably was what was happening. I've seen Daniel Bryan wormed his way into a triple threat main event at WrestleMania before. And I loved it at the time, and then he fucking poisoned the entire main event for 4 goddamned years afterwards. Nothing could get over. Nothing was allowed to get over. Bring us our precious baby uwu Daniel Bryan back. And it made me bitter. At the time, I was bitter. And that was poisoning my mind here until the match started, and it was fucking so good. Such a good wrestling match.
This was a match that was over 20 minutes long, and I could have seen it go on for another 5.
Yeah, longer than that, it would overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
But, this was... They did such good things. They did such good work here. With everything from Jey Uso starting off, evening the odds, as it were, at the beginning of the match, to then being put away by Edge, to come back later triumphantly, to just all of the little tiny miniature stories they told in the friction around these 3 dudes. Just such good shit. I would have been happy by the time this match was like 10 minutes in. I was fully invested, and I would have been happy to have any of these guys win.
Yeah.
I thought Edge was going to win.
My heart wanted Roman. I honestly think any of these men could take it, and it would have been okay. I think my least favorite pick would have been Daniel Bryan. Not out of your reason, but just because... that just doesn't seem like Daniel Bryan, I guess. I don't think he would have wanted the title
Of
here.
the Edge or Daniel Bryan option, Edge is the better option.
I would agree with that.
I think Daniel Bryan would agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
My heart wanted Roman. I just didn't think it was going to happen. Oh, but it did, listener. It did. He stacked them boys up like cordwood and pinned them both.
What a powerful statement. And, man...
Roman Reigns finally got the fucking crowning moment that he has deserved for years. Unlike every other moment, it worked. Unequivocally, no ifs, ands, or buts. Everyone was on the same team. This is a top-tier heel, and he is the guy. Just, yes.
It all works. And it's all... I'm not mad at this. This is not a Brock Lesnar swooping in and taking the title to run off to Waikiki with, to put inside one of his cows.
This is like a workhorse a workhorse who is also smart enough not to do crazy, stupid bullshit like wrestle in a COVID cauldron when he has fucking leukemia.
And this is another thing that I really loved about this match, and a thing that I'm surprised they didn't build up more. Maybe they did in the weekly shows, but I don't remember hearing about it. This is 3 guys we thought would never wrestle again.
Yeah. Terrible neck injury, cancer.
And here they all are, putting on 20 minutes of some of the best triple threat action I have seen in my lifetime. The lulls in this match were very, very few and very, very short.
It was pretty much an absolute sprint from bell to bell.
Yeah.
They gave me all the stuff I wanted out of Edge versus Roman Reigns. It gave me them spearing each other simultaneously, which is a spot I have never seen them actually do and have wanted them to do so much. And they did it. It gave me Roman Reigns, at the head of the table, walking up and saying his third catchphrase to the announce team, "This is my table now." It gave me everything I wanted out of that match, and also an entire other match with Daniel Bryan in it, between Edge and Daniel Bryan, and between Roman and Daniel Bryan. On top of that, it was good. There were really funny moments. There were really cheering moments. I was cheering like out loud when Edge took the tiny little leg of a chair that came off when Roman took a chair from him that was laying on the ground. Roman wasn't submitting to his crossface, so his eyes lit up and he reached out and grabbed the little bar and stuck it in Roman's teeth and began wrenching back. And then Daniel Bryan came over and they were both putting Roman in the submission hold, and Roman Reigns like, "I can't even tap. What's..."
There was a beautiful little piece of work. I didn't notice, actually, because there was so much great action happening with Daniel Bryan and Edge headbutting each other and all the other stuff.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan headbutting Edge to sleep.
Edge went a little too far on his side of the leggy, And Roman just gives him a gentle little tap tap, like, "Ow, buddy." And Edge is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, pal." It's good shit. It's just good to see, like, respect in the ring amongst the competitors too. And it was subtle enough that I didn't notice it. You know, again, like the Shane McMahon working punches, your eyes are not on his hands, you're on his legs. Your eyes are not on whether or not Roman is moving his little handies about. You're looking at the intensity between Daniel Bryan and Edge about to beat the shit out of each other's skulls, with each other's skulls.
Great. This is match of the night because it was pure WrestleMania hype.
There's no other match that should have been with the main event. This did exactly everything you wanted it to.
I am so stunned Roman won. I'm still surprised.
I'm glad for my boy. I think he's come into a perfect gimmick. I think everything is singing about what he's doing now.
This just works. This is right song, right beat, right lyrics. This is singing.
And we've got a healthy Jim Uso in the wings. Like, who knows what could happen in the future. I'm excited to see where these things go. If we end up coming back to you guys with the next pay-per-view, that's going to be Wrestlemania Backlash is what they're calling it now?
Sure.
I don't know. A Backlash was fine, but okay, whatever.
I mean, they want the brand recognition.
Sure.
Which is weird. Backlash has been around basically my whole fucking life. It has plenty of brand recognition, but whatever.
I mean, it's on Peacock now. I can see why they'd want to be like...
No, this is still part of the WrestleMania series.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for listening. You know, we didn't go into the usual spiel. I wanted to dive right into it. I've got a couple minutes. I own the network. Fucking comment, like, subscribe. Don't touch the fucking bell. Actually, I have heard if you do comment in addition to liking, that's better for the algorithm. And we're not trying to get famous off of things here, but the more people that can enjoy our dulcet tones, the better. Also, more importantly, I've got a Patreon, and I've got several books for sale in the description, one of which I released just last year. A great starting point for my book series. Go into them links and buy up all that shit, and if you subscribe to the Patreon, you could be cool like Rob.
Who is good.
Anything else to say, my brother?
Everything's better when nerds talk about it. Fuck it!